Hey athletes, so now I'm going to show you exactly why I always say if you have lower back pain, at least when we're talking about the dimples of your spine, right next to your spine, that it's really just nerve pain, and it's usually coming from your butt, okay? You have a tight butt and it's pulling on those nerves, causing that discomfort. So if you actually have spine pain where it actually is in your lower spine, this has nothing to do with that. But again, this is all about the dimples of your spine. People experience their lower back pain in the dimples of their back. And it's usually going to be like right in here. Hopefully you can see this, right? Somewhere in here on the sides. Now, if you ever experience actual spinal pain, this is not going to help cure your spinal pain, okay? But a lot of the times, it's going to be right in here that they're feeling some pain. And if that's the case, that you're feeling it in that region next to your spine above your hip, here's why. Let's see if we can zoom in even better. So you can see all of these, and I'm going to use a pencil to do this, all of these nerves start in your glute and they insert in that region where you're in pain, right? So let's pull up the hip so you can see what's going on. So approximately, if this is the top of your hip, they're in here somewhere, right? So sitting right next to your spine. So here's your better picture of your butt. So if the nerves are here and they cross up and over, it would make sense if our lower back is right here that we'd feel the pain in our nerves right here, right next to our spine, just above where our hip bone is, right? So somewhere in here. You can see that that's exactly where all of these nerves are going, okay? Besides your sciatic nerve, there isn't a ton going on to cause that lower back pain. And again, your sciatic pain would be in different places, so this isn't your sciatic nerve. But these nerves, your femoral branch, I believe is what they're referred to as, your nerves start in this upper quadrant of your glute. And that's why I'm always recommending that you stick a tennis ball right in here, because if we can stretch these muscles, they won't be pulling on these nerves, causing that tension in your lower back. So that's why a lot of the times I say, hey, you're a tight ass. You need to make sure that you're stretching these out so that your lower back can get its alleviation. So before, like I said, so those nerves we were talking about are somewhere in here, kind of branching up and over. And you can see that our IT band, which is traditionally very tight, which this is more of the side of your hip, but this corner of your glute, this is where a lot of things are coming together, and this is where a lot of the tension is held in your butt cheek. So most likely, the most likelihood muscle that's going to be tight, causing this pain in the dimples of your back, is going to be this one, this piriformis here. So imagine over this all is your glute maximus, right? This is the side of your hip. So this is about the region that we're going to be putting that ball. Again, if we're talking in the hip, we're talking somewhere in here we're going to be putting that ball, right? Pain's here, we put the ball here. The upper portion of your glute maximus, right? Somewhere up in here, like I was talking about. Okay, so if we just lob off your glute maximus below it, like I said, most likely it's going to be this piriformis muscle here. Okay, this piriformis muscle, as you sit, has a tendency to inflame and it swells. So by adding a little pressure to it, we can actually help limit some of that inflammation. And again, if this isn't inflamed, it won't be pushing on those nerves, causing that those dimples of your back to be on fire. Now, just because you only feel it on one side, because typically you're only going to feel it on one side, a few things to consider. One, are you sitting on something? Are you sitting and favoring one hip, one butt cheek? Maybe you have a wallet under your butt, causing your hips to tilt. Okay, that's something to consider, and something you should really work on, making sure your hips are even. But if you favor one side, you may only feel it on one side, but that doesn't mean that the other piriformis, the other side of your glute, couldn't be just as tight. You just don't feel it yet. So I would always recommend doing both butt cheeks, even if you don't feel it on the one side. Okay, so by taking care of it here, we can help open up those nerves so that they don't hurt. And again, this is why I'm talking that you need to make sure if your lower back, if you feel the dimples of your back in pain, you got to make sure you're hitting those glutes.